Okay, so the next tool is probably my most favorite tool in my coaching toolbox. Foundational, absolutely foundational. Dilt's pyramid of logical levels. Let's take a look, and I'm gonna explain what it is. But practically, it's a pyramid, right? And it's gonna look like this. So Dilt's pyramid of logical levels. You can see on the pyramid, it helps you, number one, it helps you to understand where exactly is the challenge, where exactly is the blocker, and the blocker would be at different levels. So first of all, let's take a look at the levels. Level at the bottom, level one is environment. Normally, again, what's the ultimate human driver for any kind of human behavior? We all as humans, we want one thing. We want ultimate human experience. Whatever it means for every single person is strictly individual. However, we want ultimate human experience. So we want this experience at the level of environment. Whatever it is. It could be change in the career. It could be new partner, family, moving to a new country, new city, anything that you would want to create. Again, new home, new car, whatever it is. It's a level of the environment. And here I would also place the body, because the body is the gateway towards experience. So building the body. How do we build the best body we can and have the best human experience within this body? Become more lean, more athletic, lose weight and stuff like this. This is also the change that we want to at the level of environment. But you using this tool to understand like where the challenge is, right? To change the level of environment, what needs to change before that? Well, to change the environment, to change your reality, you need to take action. You need to change your behavior. That's the next level. The level of behavior, the action that you do. People talk about law of attraction, a law of action. Well, law of attraction itself, it doesn't work. It doesn't matter how hard you think about stuff. If there's no execution, things will not happen. So law of action states exactly that. It states that you got to take action in order to create change, right? In order to manipulate the external environment. So that's the level of behavior. What needs to change in the behavior for me to change the environment? And before that, what drives the level of behavior? Level of skill, right? You cannot exercise the behavior if you do not have the skill. I cannot do a backflip, exercise the behavior if I don't have the skill of a backflip, or I cannot build a financial model, exercise this behavior, do this action if I don't have the skill. I don't know Excel and I don't know pivot tables, VLOOKUPs and stuff like that, right? So what is the skill that is required in order to exercise this behavior, in order to change the environment? But skills. What defines the level of skills? Well, the level of skills is defined by the next level. And that's level divided into two halves, level of values and beliefs, right? Values is what's important to you. What is important to you, what drives you. It's very, very easy and logical to understand. If something is important to you, if a skill is important to you, you will, or like if something is important for you to manifest in life, you're going to be acquiring a skill for that. So your values drive your skill acquisition strategy. Unless you're blocked by a belief. And that's a limiting belief, right? Everything stays there. You will be learning a skill and you will be exercising the behavior and you will be changing the environment in the way you want to change and creating the reality you want to create, unless you're blocked by your belief. But what defines our values and beliefs? That's the next level, the level of identity. Identity, another word for identity, is a role. What kind of roles do we play? It can be in a different context. In the context of family, I can be a father or a son or a brother. In the context of a partnership, a marriage, right? I'm a husband or a wife. In the context of the role within a corporate system, right? I don't say I'm my job title, but I perform a certain function, perform a role. And people can associate themselves with job titles. Within a community, maybe there's a different role. Maybe I'm a leader. So anything within identity. Maybe I'm a business owner. My identity as a coach, right? Professional identity, personal identity, who I am as a person, what kind of person I believe myself to be. And that can be described with other words like ego. The concept of self, identification, right? That's this level. And you can ask me like, well, if you sort all these levels out, if you're like very solid in your own identity, you have strong values, you work on your beliefs, you have lots of skills, right? And you exercise productive behavior, you're shaping your environment, you can be a pretty high functioning individual. And you will be right. There are many high functioning individuals who've got these levels pretty sorted. However, they still experience lacking of something. And primarily it's a lack of purpose. And what can be above all this? It's a level of spirituality. And again, if you don't have an effective relationship with the word spirituality, think of it as purpose, mission. And what is my place? What do I want to? What's a meaningful life for me? What's a life well lived? This spiritual understanding. For me, I will not shy away from this word, spiritual intelligence, spiritual understanding. Who am I? Most importantly, what am I not? And what is my purpose? Because purpose will drive everything else. You can be an extremely high functioning individual, you have all these levels sorted, but if you lack purpose in life, it will all collapse. So we can flip this pyramid upside down and would say we can build yourself up from understanding your purpose, understanding your vision, understanding your mission, and then go into the level of engineering your identity, and then defining your beliefs and defining your values, right? Finding your limiting beliefs if anything stops you, acquiring the skills that needed to create the reality, and exercise the behavior that you need, take actions that you need to take, and then by doing that, shape your environment, career, money, body, relationship, everything that you want to manifest. So, as I said, number one application is that it helps you to understand where exactly the challenge is. If there's no change in the environment, are you taking action at the level of behavior? If not, do you have the skill? You don't have the skill, you learn the skill. Something stops you from learning the skill, it sits at the level of your belief. This is where coaching work takes place. It takes place here and deeply here at the identity, and even deeper at the self-transcendence level, at the spiritual level. And that's the core and the pinnacle of my coaching practice. That's what I do with my coachees, right? And this is something we're going to do in the course, to sort out all these levels, because again, it is the pinnacle, but it also the foundation. Spirituality, spiritual intelligence is the foundation for everything else. You flip the pyramid and you build upon it. Everything goes from here down. Okay, so how to use this tool as a self-coaching tool? Let's take a look at the workbook.